glad you helped us. But I'm not going to wait for you all day, so...
Do you have enough onions for the soup?
You men always take your sweet time.
Your father sent me.
So I can tell you how to get to our fortress. A task for the lowest lackey, wouldn't you say? Well, you don't need to answer that.
Right, yeah. That's exactly why he sent me. But how...
What are you staring at? Do you think I was born yesterday? I was listening to you from the top of the stairs. So, this passage, it leads to the cellars. But the outside entrance is hidden underground in a forest, not far from the castle. You can find the exact place if you know where and how to look.
Is it in a cave hidden behind a waterfall?
Well, no. But it would be nice. Listen, nearby Malashov is a stud farm managed by Hashtal, an old friend of Papa's. We had a wayside shrine set up at the crossroads before the stud farm.
A wayside shrine? How do you mean?
Are you a Christian at all? Never mind. It's a big white column. You can't miss it. From the shrine, you should be able to see a group of boulders. Beyond them are the remains of an old chapel. You have to find it, and then there's a kind of... how can I describe it? A window. A gap you can look through.
If it's still standing.
I hope so too. Anyway, it should direct you towards some ruins. Go there. And now pay attention. Somewhere in those ruins is a stone cross. You have to find it and look where its top points to. If you go the way the cross is pointing, you'll find another one, and again follow the direction it's pointing in. That should lead you to a small clearing, marked by a cross in the rocks. You dig there, and you should get to the passageway.
That's a really cunning solution. No random fool would ever find it.
That was exactly my intention when I thought it up. Thanks, Henry. I think you're no fool, so you shouldn't have any trouble. And that's not all. Getting into the castle is the easy part. Don't forget, you have to get out too.
You're right. Horses will be needed. For me and for Capon.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Fortunately, I know how to arrange that. Stop off at the stud farm I told you about, and ask Hashtal for horses.
Where's the catch?
No catch. On the contrary, please tell Hashtal that Papa is still paying for masses for his dead father, as agreed years ago. And even if he's not too keen, tell him we'll pay him for the horses.
You got it well figured out. Thanks. Don't know how I'd manage without you.
You've done plenty to help, and now it's our turn. Papa said something like that, didn't he? You know, you might not be aware of it, but you saved us from a mountain of trouble. Papa would never admit it, but alone, we wouldn't be able to resist the Mint Master for long. You've earned the right to the gratitude and friendship of our house for all time.
Would you like to come with me? At least I'll be sure to find that place.
Would you seriously want me there? What if something were to go wrong? Wouldn't a girl like me be more of a burden to you?
Well, you wouldn't be a burden to me. Quite the opposite. I've already seen you know how to take care of yourself.
Thank you. But I can't go nevertheless. Papa would jump out of his skin if he even heard of such a thing. That's why I would like to ask you for one favor. but you mustn't breathe a word of it to anyone. Understand?
I'm listening.
I wanted to ask you, since you're going to be at Malashov, if you could bring me something from there.
And what might that be?
A book. It has great value to me, and I was starting to worry it would stay there forever. But if you're going there now...
And what book is this that's so important?
It's hard to explain to someone uninitiated in the mysteries of writing.
What do you mean, uninitiated? I happen to know how to read.
Really? Mea culpa. You are full of surprises. So if you do find the book, you'll be able to read it.
Well, yeah. That's the way it goes with books.
In that case, I'm not going to make it easy for you. If you'd like to know why it's so important to me, you'll have to find it first.
Fear not, my lady. I'll gladly tear the entire fortress apart to find that book for you.
Restraint, valiant knight. I value your determination, but this way would give yourself away immediately, and I'd remain without my book. Find it nice and quietly, then come back.
Your wish is my command.
It shouldn't be hard. The book is bound in scarlet leather and inlaid with gold. You won't find many like such there. And take this, so you don't get lost in the fortress.
Thank you.
It is quite possible you won't get back to Malashov again. So don't forget about me. And Henry, be careful.
Oh, and about that secret passage to Malashov. How did you find that secret passageway back then?
I'm glad you ask, because it's a really interesting story. It all started when I was 12. One morning, I found a bat nailed to the Malashov gate. Peculiar, eh?
Not really. Bats are creatures of the night. They flit around while good Christians are asleep, often carrying out the will of witches, or even the devil himself. But a bat nailed up actually repels all evil, and protects the house against sickness.
Well now, I have to admire your knowledge. That's exactly what the chambermaid told me too. The thing that I was most interested in was where they got that bat. You know, I was awfully inquisitive back then. Embroidery wasn't exactly my passion, and Papa forbade me from riding out into the woods, so at least I explored the fortress from top to bottom.
I know all about that. Not that I ever embroidered, but Pa never let me stray too far from home.
Parents have no understanding for the adventurous soul, do they? But back to the bats. I found out from the guards that they caught the poor creatures somewhere in the cellars. So I went to have a look there and found a whole swarm of them. I followed them for a while, and I noticed that in one corner they simply disappeared into a wall. Strange, isn't it? I was full of curiosity, and I talked Papa into having the wall demolished. I remember there was even a priest there at the time, and he wasn't at all happy about it. He was afraid we'd dig into hell. But as you probably guessed, there was nothing behind the wall but a passageway leading off into darkness.
So you found the passageway by sheer chance?
Certainly not. I found it because I noticed things that others dismiss as nothing. And if it weren't for me, no one would know about that passageway to this day. And your whole plan to save your friend would go down the latrine. You can thank me another time.
Have you ever used the passage?
No, it's never been needed. Thank God. But everything is ready there. There's a strong door and a ladder that we can pull up behind us. That ought to give us enough time to get to the end and dig our way out.
Why did your people mark the passage from outside?
Papa came up with that. He said one never knows what might happen, so I thought up the idea with the crosses. Why do you ask anyway? Would you rather search all over the woods for it?
No. It's really smart. And very convenient for me. Thanks again. Sorry, I've got a bit lost in all this. How did you say I can find that passageway?
I've told you already, haven't I? Have you really forgotten? Or do you just enjoy talking to me so much? At the crossroads near Hushtal's stud farm is a wayside shrine. Nearby is a group of boulders by the road. Behind them, you'll find another chapel, an old one. When you look through the gap in it, you'll see ruins on the hill opposite. Go there and look for a stone cross. Go in the direction that the top of the cross is pointing until you find another cross. Again, carry on the way that the cross is pointing, and you should come to a small clearing where there's a cross in the stones or something like that. I can't recall exactly.
Sure. And there I start digging. Got it. Thanks.
And don't forget to take a torch. It'll be dark in the passageway, obviously.
Leave me alone, Henry. I have heavy thoughts that I need to deal with.
Nor do I, but this is important.
I'm not interested.
But this is about money.
sir.
Greetings.
Good to see you, friend.
Swallowing gold. Well, that's salt foods and indulgences.
You're always welcome here, noble sir. Careful.
God be with you, neighbor.
Was he hanging around her again?
I ain't letting that bastard go anywhere near her. Next time, I'll kill him. Well, if he's so much as looks at her, I swear
Good afternoon.
I'd like to eat and spend the night.
But of course, as you wish, sir. And for how long?
Just for one night.
Aye, that can be arranged if you have the coin.
All right then, I'll pay right now. Here's your money.
Agreed then. The room's yours. Anyone can sleep like a king here. And if you're hungry, there's some food in the pot.
Where can I find my room?
Easy. You just go upstairs, and immediately on the left, you'll see the door with the green wreath hanging above it.
Show me your wares. I'd like to discuss the price.
Very well. Aye, that sum will convince me. Thank you, and come again, sir.
Careful!
I'm sorry. I wasn't paying attention.
Oh, please. The priest gambles with them. What? You bet he does. His housekeeper told me he's got a brooch at home I lost a month